Installing software is the most overlooked skill of a competent programmer. They may grill you in the interview process, but the moment a company hires you, they expect you to install all kind of software. To work on any application, you need software. Whether you're joining a team of Android or iPhone developers, you still need to install some tools to get started. In my experience, when I join a company as a full-time employee, they usually give me a week to install all my tools and set up the right application. But when I join as a contractor, they usually just give me a day because they expect me to know. Even if you want to work on a side project on your own, you still need to be able to install software. Let's use website development as an example, since that's what I've been doing for the past few years. A WordPress website. Just to get it to work, you need to install PHP, Apache, and MySQL. And each of those vary greatly depending on the operating system. For example, if you want to install Apache on Windows, you need to install WAMP. If it's on a Mac, you need to install it with MAMP. If it's on a Linux, you can install it on its own, but you'll have to configure it differently if it's Ubuntu or if it's Fedora or CentOS. Each of those will require like specific tuning to get it to work. Or in worst case scenarios, you have to compile it from the source. Even if you're working with JavaScript, you still need to install software. And by that I mean an IDE, a place where you can write code. Today, however, there's some companies that claim to have solved this problem, and in some case it is true. You probably heard of Vagrant and Docker. Basically, you can configure a server, make all the settings you want, and then export that for someone else to be able to reuse it. That way, at least in theory, the new employee just have to run your script and they're done. But in reality, it doesn't really happen like that. First of all, you need to install Docker or Vagrant, and just to get that to start working is a problem on its own. I have never seen a class where they teach you how to install tools into your machine for work. But the good thing is you can learn on your own. When I was a kid and had Windows 98, I spent so much time trying to install software, and along the way I destroyed a lot of things. For example, I was trying to save space, so I remove all the .ini files from the computer, and apparently the moment you restart the computer, everything stopped working. But either way, I learned something. I installed a lot of software from the web, which is not really something that I recommend unless you have a disposable computer, like a virtual machine, for example. This could be the best place to practice. There are some tools that nobody really talk about before you get started, but they're crucial. Number one is source control. These are very important, yet never talked about in beginning classes. To name a few, we have Git, Subversion, or Mercurial. These tools allow you to work with a team in coordination. Basically, two people can work on the same file without stepping on each other's toe. But even if you work on your own, it can still be useful. You can use it to back up your code. Number two, virtual machine. These allow you to install a smaller operating system inside your main operating system. The advantage is you can use this environment to add all the necessary tools to run a program without affecting the other parts of the system. This could be amazing for web development. But I also like to use it to test applications. If I download anything from the internet, I would like to test it for malware before I use it on my main computer. If they seem to be infected, I can delete the operating system without affecting my main computer. Number three, integrated development environment, or IDE. This could be any tool you use to write code and test your application. Depending on your project, you might need different ones like Android Studio, Xcode, Eclipse, NetBeans, and so on. You could use Notepad or Vim to write code, but the goal here is to use anything that makes your code better organized and accessible. For example, I used Zen Studio in the past because it had a very good SVN interface compared to the command line. Source control, virtual machine, and IDE are all tools that can make your life easier. Programming anything will require you to install software, so the better you prepare yourself, the better you will get. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to see the next one, and if you think it can benefit anyone else, please don't forget to share it with them. Thank you, and I'll catch you on the next one.